Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Mrs. Gordon, and I'm here today to go over the macromolecules test for protein. And so, just as a reminder, what we are doing is we are working on our lab form. You should have that document pulled up. Perhaps you have it pulled up now as we're going over this video, or perhaps you're going to watch the video all the way through and then fill this out after while you take notes. That's totally up to you how you want to monitor your time, but just so you know, we have this document open right now. It should be posted on Google Classroom, and we are looking at today the test for protein. Now, just as a reminder for you, protein is one of the macromolecules that we are investigating in our food. I want to remind you, our goal of this lab is to take a look at these stomach contents here from a very unfortunate victim. And we want to see, do these stomach contents contain protein so that we can sort of determine what restaurant was a possibility for this victim to have dined in the night of their death. So today's topic, protein. So what kind of foods have proteins in them? So let's think about that. What kind of foods have proteins? Remember, proteins are things that are generally made from animals. So we're thinking like meat products. Okay, so if we're eating chicken, turkey, cow, like a hamburger, or what else? Bacon, any of those things that are meat products, those are high in protein. Dairy is high in protein. So things like milk, cheese, what else? What else is dairy? Yogurt. So generally, when we think about high protein, those kinds of foods generally fill us up. Legumes or beans are another great source of protein as well. So when we're thinking about what possible foods could have contributed to protein in our stomach contents, keep that in mind. So for today's lab, we are going to be using Burette. Burette is the chemical indicator in today's lab. And Burette is going to hopefully have a chemical reaction with protein, and we will see what that looks like when we compare it to our positive control here, our gelatin. Speaking of gelatin, here it is. This is a gelatin. It is actually just Jell-O, like Jell-O brand Jell-O. It's strawberry, but we know that gelatin contains protein. So gelatin is made from an animal, or part of gelatin is, and so we know that it should have a positive result here for our positive control. Okay, which means that if we look at protein present here on the right side, we should see plus here on the gelatin because we know that this is our positive control. The next substance that we're looking at is water. Water, we know, should have no trace of protein, so we expect no chemical reaction here from our water. And then our unknown here, our stomach contents, we're going to compare the result in our stomach contents to the results in our other two substances. So here we go. For our instructions today, we've got our test tubes again. We're going to identify from our procedure that we need 30 drops of each substance into our test tube. So that means 30 drops of gelatin in test tube 1, 30 drops of water in test tube 2, and 30 drops of stomach contents in test tube 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that starting with our gelatin. I brought extra droppers today because last time I didn't have an extra one and I needed it. So 30 drops. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. And 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 30 total. You didn't fast forward through this dropping. You're watching every second of invigorating video here. So there's 30 more. Water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 drops of water. You didn't fast forward. I knew it. You stuck with us here. And now 30 drops of stomach contents. These are gross today. Oh, these stomach contents are pretty gross. In fact, I'm going to need a bigger dropper here to really suck up those contents. Oh my gosh. Wish you were here to see this. All right, here we go. Come on, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to call that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Come on, baby. 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Woo! You did not fast forward through that. You stuck with me. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our data table and identify what's the color at the beginning of this. So what is the color at the beginning before we add our chemicals? So gelatin, here's the color of our gelatin. I'm going to hold it against the white background here so that you can see. Our gelatin, I can tell you it started as a strawberry gelatin jello, so it's looking reddish, orangish there. So if we were identifying on our data table, this would be where we write the color of the gelatin, or you would type it here. So you're doing that now. Okay, then we're going to look at the color of the start of water. We can deduce it's the same color as water always kind of is. It's clear, but you would write that here. What color is the water before we start? It's clear. And then our stomach contents are that same stomach contents we worked with before. Wow, look at that. It's that beautiful orangish color. So you're going to put the color at the start here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my burette. And so the burette should have a chemical reaction with protein. And what I'm going to do is put 30 drops. Wait, no, is it 30? 10. It's 10. I looked at my procedure here. Always have my procedure present. You know, I'm not just winging it here. And it says that I need to put 10 drops of burette. And so I shall. So got my burette. I make sure it is burette, and I'm going to put 10 drops in each. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we're going to take a look at these results. I'm going to swish them all around. Okay, swish around those results. Okay, and remember what we're looking for here is to indicate what color we notice after that burette reagent has been added. So if I look at this first one, it's hard for you to tell because we're video right now, but I can tell you that this solution inside this container, it looks darker for sure. It might be hard to tell from the video, but I can see that there was definitely a bit of color deepening that red color. What I'll do just to double check is kind of take a look at my dropper here, compare the dropper to the color inside. If I look at the dropper and compare it to the contents inside my test tube, it does look darker. My water, as you can see, looks almost exactly the same. There may be a little bit of a blue tint to it now, but the water did not have a chemical reaction, which is what we expect, right? We don't expect a negative control to have a reaction. And then finally, I'm looking at my stomach contents. You know, I'm trying to take a look and see if I notice any type of change at all. To me, as an observer here, I can tell you that what you see is what you get. This looks, I don't notice a color change here. This looks very similar or almost exactly the same to what we saw before. And so once again, if I were to hold these up to try to indicate is our negative control, or excuse me, is our testable material here, our stomach contents, did it have a reaction more like test tube 1? Okay, remember test tube 1 started out red and it got darker. Okay, test tube 1 started out red and it got darker. Test tube 3, it looks like it's that orange color, you know, it didn't change too much from what I saw before. And then here, test tube 2, this is my water, my negative control. I know there's no protein here. Does it look like test tube 3? Okay. So once again, what you want to do is you want to add in what color were these after adding the reagent. And I'm sorry to say that you're not able to see the result really well on video, but I will say this gelatin did darken quite a bit. It's quite a deeper red than what we started with. Once again, our water sample, it doesn't seem to have changed in color. And then you get to decide what you see is what you get. Once again, did those stomach contents change color? That's kind of up to you. Here's what we started with. If I hold my dropper next to it, you can kind of see how those colors are similar. Okay. I want to make sure that you fill out the rest of this on your own. Remember, we expect the positive control gelatin to have a positive protein result. We expect the water This is our negative control. So what result would we expect here? And then use your own reasoning here to determine, do you think there was protein in your stomach contents? Okay. The last thing you need to do is answer question 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So think about, do you need to rewatch the video maybe to answer these questions? That's a possibility. So at this time, I'm going to say goodbye. Make sure that you, when you finish your lab, that you take a look ahead and see if there's any other things you need to do on Google Classroom to stay caught up with our asynchronous applied learning. All right, you guys, it was great to be here with you today. I will see you next time.